Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. We are now just 1 week away until WWE Money in the Bank. NoDQ.com, of course, has you covered. Got your questions from Twitter.com. Make sure you use the hashtag PAIV, please answer in video, so that way I can see your questions on Twitter. First one today comes from WK Beats. Hey Aaron, how do you book Brock Lesnar for SummerSlam if he loses to Mark Hunt at UFC 200? This is a very interesting question. I think WWE will be using Brock Lesnar regardless of what happens unless Brock gets seriously hurt. I think a lot of it depends on not only if Brock Lesnar loses, but how badly he loses. If Brock Lesnar gets knocked out or seriously hurt, he loses very quickly, it's going to damage the Brock Lesnar brand in WWE. To what degree, I'm not sure, because I really doubt that Brock Lesnar is all that much of a difference maker at this stage of the game. But nonetheless, WWE is paying a lot of money for Brock Lesnar's contract, and they are taking a huge gamble here. If Brock Lesnar wins this fight, or even if he loses and looks very strong, it will elevate Brock Lesnar's stock in WWE and make his brand even more valuable. I'm guessing WWE will stick with whatever plan they have for Brock Lesnar regardless of what happens, unless of course he is too injured to compete at SummerSlam. And if he loses very decisively, WWE may just want to keep him off of SummerSlam and let people forget about the fight before they bring him back to television, although I'm not really sure people will forget about it. It all depends how the fight goes. It's really hard to say at this point, but unless Brock gets seriously hurt or beaten really bad, if I was WWE, I would just go forward with whatever the plan is for SummerSlam, whether it's Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt or Lesnar versus Randy Orton, which I think is the match they should do for SummerSlam. Hopefully for WWE, Brock Lesnar looks good in that fight. Got this one here from Sohail. Do you think Brock Lesnar will fight again for UFC even though WWE are calling it a one-off? Another interesting question. If Brock Lesnar does really well in that fight, one would think he will want to fight again. He'll want to make a full UFC comeback beyond one match. I could see Brock Lesnar perhaps trying to get out of his WWE deal early. If he is able to come back to UFC and he does well and he's really feeling the rush, he may try to just leave WWE and they may have to just let him go. We all know how Brock Lesnar is. He walked out on the company once before. He's going to do what makes him happy. And if that's fighting for UFC for the big bucks, that's what he'll do. Brock Lesnar is going to go wherever he can make the most money. And even if he's under contract to WWE, he's Brock Lesnar. And my guess is if he really wanted to fight for UFC again, then he's going to fight for UFC again. And there's only so much WWE can do about it. And I would be surprised if WWE really tried to put up a huge legal fight, especially when WWE is trying to establish a good relationship with UFC. And, you know, they would like to possibly have Ronda Rousey do a fight, Conor McGregor. There's been other names rumored. WWE wants the option of having those other fighters possibly appear on a WWE event. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that fight. It's going to be very interesting, regardless of the outcome, what happens with Brock Lesnar at UFC 200. Got this one here from Wreck-It Beckett. When Randy Orton returns, should he be a heel or a face? And what's the next storyline for him? I think it depends on how many heels and faces you have. If there's really a need for more heels, then Randy Orton should be a heel. If WWE is able to build up some strong heels, then Randy Orton is better off as a face. Randy Orton's one of those guys that can play either role fine. He is approaching that age where everyone sees him as a legend now. He's no longer the legend killer. He is the legend now, and people are trying to kill him. The tables have turned on Randy Orton now. He does prefer being a heel, though. I could see him coming back and being a heel, especially if WWE is not going to even consider a Roman Reigns heel turn or a John Cena heel turn. WWE can always rely on Orton to be one of the top heels in the company again. Even though it's the same storyline we've seen over and over again, I could very well see Randy Orton coming back and being a heel, just because there are not a lot of strong heels in WWE right now. And if Orton does come back and feuds with Lesnar, my guess is WWE will just have both of them be tweeners and let the fans decide who they're going to cheer for and who they're going to boo for. And then after that, figure out which direction to go in with Orton. This one comes from Adam. Since Teddy Long is back and ready to botch, do you have any favorite botches of all time? My favorite botch is the Sandman trying to cut a promo for NoDQ.com. We interviewed him for XMV back in 2006, and as we did with every interview, we had them cut a promo for the website. Sandman, no matter how many times he tried, he could not get it right. And in his own words, he never misses an effing promo until that day. You can check it out on the YouTube channel. Just search Sandman NoDQ.com and you'll find that promo. AJ Styles is another guy that could not really cut the promo properly. He had to do like 4 or 5 takes of it before he could get it right. So check that out as well. Those are my all-time favorite botches. But, you know, beyond NoDQ.com and XMV, I think my all-time favorite botch would have to be the Shockmaster falling down. I mean, that's an all-time classic. Hulk Hogan saying he was the right gay guy at the right place at the right time, whatever that promo was with Vince. And Bret Hart saying in your haste. Sid saying he has half the brain that Scott Hall does. And Sid not knowing that the promo was live and JR has to inform him of that. There's a lot of great ones with Sid. And Scott Steiner. I mean, Scott Steiner has his own Botchamania highlight reel. Got this one here from Wrestling Fan 94. Do you think WWE should bring back Taz as a commentator or even as a manager? I really do not see the point in bringing back Taz as a manager. I mean, he is a good promo. Maybe he could elevate somebody, but I think Taz is happy just doing what he's doing. I would like to see Taz come back at some point. I think he should go into the Hall of Fame, and I would love to see him just make a cameo at either NXT Brooklyn or SummerSlam in Brooklyn. Have Taz come out in his hometown. He would get a huge reaction, big nostalgia pop. I would like to see that. Maybe even have one more match. That would be cool. But I really don't see the point in bringing back Taz as a commentator unless they really need a commentator. If something happens to Jerry Lawler or WWE finally decides to get rid of Byron Saxton, then yeah, I mean, I guess you could consider bringing back Taz if that's something he really wants to do. This one comes from Almighty Wiggins. What's up, Aaron? Do you see AJ Styles having the title sometime next year if booked properly? I could see him with the IC title or the US title. Oh wait, you're talking about the world title. I think it's unlikely right now. If WWE is going forward with a brand split and having 2 world championships, then I think the odds will increase of AJ Styles becoming the world champion. And I think that if WWE does bring back the world title, the World Heavyweight Championship for SmackDown, and they do something like a tournament, have AJ Styles win the title. Have it be AJ versus Cena in the finals, and have AJ win the World Heavyweight Championship, beating John Cena. I think that that would do a lot for AJ's career. That's what I would do, at least, but we'll see what happens. I think a lot of it just depends on what's going on with this brand extension and if there will be 2 world titles. If there's only going to be 1, then I would say the odds are pretty slim. Got this one here from Simon Lee. Hey Aaron, what do you think about the Make Darren Young Great Again nonsense, and do you see Cesaro losing his push after Money in the Bank? I'll mention this real quick since I have mentioned it before. Regarding Darren Young, how do you make Darren Young great again when he was never really great in the first place? What exactly did Darren Young do to be considered great in WWE? I think that's a fair question. And I would also say that Bob Backlund has been the most entertaining part of those segments. That's really all I have to say about that. Now regarding Cesaro, I do not see him in a position lower than where he's at right now. I think Cesaro will continue to be an upper mid-carder in WWE. He's a guy the company can rely on to have great matches. He'll continue to have a presence on television. He'll continue to be a factor. No, he will not be the main event most likely, but I do not see him moving down the card anytime soon. I think he's got a secure spot on the WWE roster right now. This one comes from Bobby Digital. Since Daniel Bryan losing Royal Rumble early caused the fans to turn on Reigns, would fans boo Reigns if Daniel Bryan had won or if he came back after? I've talked about this before. I think that part of it was Roman Reigns being in the wrong place at the wrong time, similar to Batista the year before. But also fans were already starting to turn on Roman Reigns before that Royal Rumble. Now, if Daniel Bryan had not come back, maybe there would have been less of a backlash. I still think some fans would have booed Roman Reigns winning. But yeah, once Daniel Bryan came back and announced he was going to be in the Royal Rumble, everyone had this idea of Daniel Bryan winning and that feel-good story being told. And that's what people wanted to see. And when Daniel Bryan got tossed out, everyone else knew Roman Reigns was winning the Royal Rumble. And the rest is history. This one comes from Jishnu. Hey Aaron, how come Jack Swagger came into the US title picture out of the blue? Is there any chance WWE is pushing him again? Not really pushing him. I think WWE is just lazy when it comes to writing. We've seen Rusev versus Jack Swagger before. It's easy. Jack Swagger is the American hero. He comes out there, the fans chant USA. Rusev is the anti-American who destroys him. And that's really all WWE knows. They only know how to do storylines that they've done in the past. USA versus the Foreigner. It's just an easy approach to writing and putting a guy out there and just filling time. That's really what it is. And Jack Swagger is just another guy to make Rusev look strong. That is his role at this point in time in WWE. This one comes from Joseph Allen. With Money in the Bank coming up, who was your favorite briefcase holder? I think RVD was the best due to storyline. I'll go ahead and say RVD just because Jeff told me to. No. I would have to say Edge. Edge was the guy who really set the standard for the Money in the Bank briefcase holders. He was the first one. He was the guy that went out there and tried to cash it in. He made a big deal out of it. He was the guy that really put Money in the Bank on the map and established it as a major storyline in WWE. I would have to go with Edge. Got this one here from Matt Big. Do you see Emma being pushed like she was before when she comes back? That is hard to say. I think it depends on the state of the women's division in WWE. I think that if you have a lot of call-ups from NXT and the women's division gets crowded, it'll be less likely that Emma gets a big push. Now, if there are injuries or WWE gives up on some people, Emma comes back, she's in the right place at the right time, then I could see her getting a renewed push. But right now, anything's possible. It's just a matter of timing for her and luck, I think. It's really hard to say. Got this one here from Sir Tony Styles. What do you think Kane's best matches were in WWE? I think WrestleMania 14 with Undertaker and WrestleMania 17 with Raven and Big Show. Can you name any others? That is a tough one when it comes to singles matches. I think the Survivor Series match with Shane was really good. WrestleMania 14, of course. I think if you consider all different types of matches and you consider tag team matches, I would have to say Kane and Daniel Bryan against The Shield. Those matches were awesome. A lot of it was due to the other guys and not Kane, but Kane was involved in those matches and did play a role. So I would say the tag matches, Team Hell No versus The Shield. Those were great matches, 2012, 2013. That'll do it for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please subscribe if you haven't already at youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. Also go to my personal channel at youtube.com/AaronRift. Just uploaded my first Mario Maker video, my attempt to do the super expert mode on Mario Maker with the 100 Mario challenge. I also have other videos on there, travel videos, going to New York, Venice Beach, got videos from various hiking trails, so check that out and stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Money in the Bank. I will see you guys next time.